Dun 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 dun. No. Um. Good morning. I know it's early. Um. I don't have an intro. I gotta be honest with you. Probably one of the most annoying things is to sit and wait for some of these intros that are some of them 6, 7, 8 minutes long. It's like, no, thank you. You're just not that important. Hell, I turn over the halftime show before that during the Super Bowl. Good morning, Angela Critters. How are you? Good morning, Lavina, Sarah. Hope everybody's winter has returned at my house. Hey, Rad Story. Critters, I can't do it. I'm all about a little, a little intro. Yes, I know. Hey, Sergeant Blackrock. I'm all about a little intro, whatever. I used to have one, but some of these intros are, I won't do it. I won't sit through it. Hello, whatever. I mean, you lost my interest before you even spoke. Good morning, Diane, Laura, Scottish Bluebell. I mean, you lost me before you even opened your mouth. But winter has returned here. So I spent most of yesterday morning thinking I'm going to go to Florida for the weekend. So I was looking at like airplane tickets and shit. And it's not that bad. And I know enough people in Florida that, I wouldn't have to like get a room or anything like that, although I probably would. But either way, I mean like $116 round trip or something. Especially when the intros have really dumb songs. Yeah. Hey Captain Avi, I hope you're doing okay. I don't even see Puss in Boots. Oh, there's Puss in Boots. Hey, girl. I hope you're doing all right. I'm ready for some warmer weather, y'all. I'm done. Hello, sweet potato. I enjoy the four seasons and I really missed it when I lived in Florida. But I kind of wish winter was just like one big snowfall and maybe a week of cold and then we just rolled right back into spring. That's kind of, but there I go, wishing time away. Wishing time away, shouldn't do that. Right, I get it. A short 1 minute intro, but that's more than enough. I'm not, I just won't do it. I mean, if I'm going to watch you and you have a long, drawn out intro, trust me when I say I'm coming back long after it's over. Hey, thank you. Next. Wow, we got some. Hey, TL. But oh yeah, Sarah. Congratulations to Sarah. They recently purchased a new home, and I will say that I have seen pictures, and it's absolutely stunning. And now she gets to do all the good stuff, all the fun stuff. There's nothing like moving into a new place and making it yours, you know. No matter whether it's a mansion or a one bedroom apartment, just making it yours. It's all fresh, it's clean, it's just personalizing it. I think that's so much fun. And I probably spend more time and money on the bathroom. Yes, a new slate, exactly. I always get hung up in the bathroom because I don't want a busy bathroom. I don't want a shower curtain with palm trees and, I want a simple but yet classic. I don't know. I always get hung up in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Decorating it, not really like hung up in there for other reasons. Again, I'm so glad I'm so insignificant that I don't get clipped because that would have been a clippable moment right there. I get hung up in the bathroom. Oh, Lavina, I watch so many of those those videos. Come watch me redo my hallway. And they take a normal entryway and turn it into something out of a picture book. Right, whistle down. But I am one of those people that less is more. That is my style. Again, I grew up in the home interior ages where your wall wasn't complete if it didn't have, of course, moderator. I'll look into it. Yeah, of course. But I grew up in the home interior ages where if a wall didn't have at least 13 matching pieces or more, because you couldn't just have the owl picture. You had to have the sconces that went on both sides. Then you had to have the leaves that came up over the sconces. Uh, you all remember home interior. Is there anybody in here too young to remember home interior walls? Yes, Goldbergs. So therefore I was totally turned, and then you always had again the wall of fame in your mom's house where desk catcher. Hey, Jenny Hansen. Exactly. Home interior parties. Yeah. Well, then you always had that one ugly wall in mom's house that had all the old, outdated pictures of her kids and her grandkids. Well, my mom had 8 kids and turned around and had a lot of grandkids. So that wall was really big and really ugly. By the time I was into my my mom passed away when I was 31. So by the time I was into my late 20s, I really didn't want to walk in and sit down at the dining room table and stare at a prom picture of me that I was so hung over in that I didn't even want to go to the damn prom anyways. Wallpaper's coming back. Wallpaper is coming back. It definitely is. I remember the only new house we had as a kid at me growing up. And I remember dad, and well, my littlest sister was toddling, and I'm 5 years older than her. So that's how young I was. I hadn't started school yet. And I remember going to see it, and it wasn't completed. It was still just, it didn't have a roof on it. It was just 2x4s. It was just framed up. And you know, mom and dad sitting so proudly in the station wagon in the driveway of the house that's going to be ours, and it's just sticks. I was so confused. I thought, okay, speak truth. Hello. I wasn't impressed, needless to say, when we pull up and dad says, "There it is, kids. There's our new home." And it's freaking 2x4 sitting on dirt. I was, I was 5 or younger. I didn't get it, but it turned out to be a newly built home. And what did my mother do? She went through and freaking wallpapered and painted some really wild colors and hung home interior everywhere. But wallpaper's coming back though, it really is. Especially that textured wallpaper. That's but hey, to each their own, right? To each their own. But yeah, I just came on here, I gotta be honest with you. I listened to Hello Starlight, Marianne's intro for the first time the other day since she's decided to dabble her toes back in drama and get off Gypsy Rose Jock. Um, I'm a very large part of that intro. And I don't know if she thinks that's a flex because she plays on loop me and others saying her name. I don't know. What did I do? Put some boots? Either way, that's her intro. Whatever. Have at you, Marianne. But it's definitely not a flex. All it does is show the stupidity that she's done throughout this community. And I mean, if I wanted to, which I don't care. I would just go and collect all the clips of her sitting on perverts panels and all the people that she has buddied up with that have had very bad reputations. The Thorpes, Hormaxer, uh, Jimmernam, um, and then I would just loop in how many times she has cried, "Leave me alone, just leave me alone." If I wanted to, really don't want to, but I noticed she was dabbling a little bit back in the drama. Actually, I see the ponies are reuniting. They had that little split there for a while. It seems they're coming back together. That should be interesting. Not really. I tried to watch Alex V over there, but I got to be honest with you. I haven't talked to Steph in months, but I don't really care who she's fucked and who she ain't fucked. It makes me no never mind. Not all the ponies. Of course, Sarah. Hey, Kimberly. Yes, I said ponies. It seems as if they're all coming, not all, but several of them are coming back together, which, good for them. Good for them. But I can promise you, I don't really care who Steph has met in real life, who she hasn't. Here goes Sam, our morning bark session, one of many. So I didn't really stick around over there. I tried to listen to it for a few minutes, but then again, I can't handle that community that they all sit in these discords with these fucking incels, these men who haven't gotten laid in, and I only say that, I can't know that for sure. Same as making Max bark. But imagine being a man in this world, okay? You obviously don't hold real jobs because how do you do that and sit in a Discord constantly? Um, but you sit in these Discords, and I'm off Marianne at this point. I don't know what Marianne does. I don't know what Discord she sits in. I don't care. But they sit in these Discords and they have these parasocial relationships with these women on the internet. Most of these women have husbands or significant others, and it's just really weird to me, but I'm old. I'm a boomer. Not really, I'm Gen X, but And it's just really weird to me that I don't know, you know, the days of good morning, Aratria. Aratria's she's back a little bit. Hello, He-Man. Not all discords are like that, He-Man. It's really not. You just have to be careful who you're in discord with and what you're willing to share. Because we all know when friendships part, people have a tendency of telling your dirty little secrets because they're mad at you. Not because they felt like you were doing anything wrong when they were in there rah-rah-rahing for you, but because they're mad at you. So all of a sudden, they're going to tell your dirty little secrets and they're going to be the heroes. We've seen it unplay so many times on here. Hey, Dova. See, I am convinced that I have the absolute best chat on YouTube. Now, I might be a little biased, but so yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in that. I'm not, I'm just not interested in sitting in a Discord with a bunch of men who don't have the men in my life have always been hunters, or they fished, or they, or all the above. They worked on cars. Um, they were men. They were real men. Hello, Lurker. I don't know. Like I said, the whole title of my thing is Footprints on the Internet. And what kind of footprints do you really want to leave behind? And I know some people say, well, I don't care what people on the internet think about me. You know, okay, I'll go with that for a bit. But don't you really? Don't you really? Because, this never goes away. That's when they made real men back in the day. Yes, deplorable. Yes. Come on, son. Almost called Sam son. Come on, son. Exactly, TL. Okay, now you're getting into where I was going with this. I may not care what people on the internet think about me, but because the internet is forever, I just got a text message. It's kind of funny. Do it, do it. It reminded me of the movie Still Magnolias when they're in the cemetery and Sally Fields. This is what this text message just reminded me of. Still Magnolias, where Sally Fields is so upset, and she's just like, I just want to punch something. I just want to punch something. And they push Olympia Dukakis pushes, oh, what's her name? You know, the scene in Still Magnolias. Yeah, I guess we did grow up in a different time when men went to work and made a decent living, and they didn't set, who are you sick of today? I'm not really sick of anybody. Beezer, yeah. Weezer. Come on, Weezer. Do something for humanity. I'm not really sick of anything or anybody because we all have the option of just clicking it off. It fascinates me. I think the older I get, the more people's minds fascinate me. I've always been interested in serial killers, and you all know this, what makes their minds tick and stuff like that. Well, I'm finding out that people on YouTube are very much like serial killers. Their minds, I mean, minus dead people, their minds are quite fascinating. No, Ardria. I keep a pretty open chat. But you can cuss her out if you want. I got a kick out of it the other day. Everybody was playing Diane's, with this big yep thing. Everybody was playing, Laura included. Um, y'all were playing Diane. Well, Laura was actually playing Chasing's. Chasing was playing Diane's. An old stream where this alleged yep person went on there, this Megan scamming person or whatever. And the whole time they're playing Diane's stream, they're calling her a cancer scammer. So Diane put it on private. I'm sorry. I busted out fucking laughing. I thought it was funny. Yes, Laura, she can cuss you out. You cuss people out all the time. Quit acting so shocked. Is that a joke, Laura? Um, I couldn't help it. I thought it was freaking funny. You're sitting there calling Diane a cancer scammer, but you're using her material, her channel content. So she privated it. I thought it was hilarious. I'm sitting there watching Chasing because I'm trying to get to the bottom. Yes, deplorable chicken hen. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the whole yep thing. And Chasing is playing an old stream of Diane's, says something about cancer scamming. So Diane hits private. And I mean, I just busted out fucking laughing. I miss those days. Hello, Squirrel Sandwich. I miss the days of when somebody would be playing your stream and you would get like 15 things from Discord saying, hurry, private your stream, private your stream, private your stream. And it would just shut down in the middle of it. Hello, Kathy Rebuilds. And the person streaming it would get all pissy and stuff, which to me that's funny shit. Hello, Carla. I've done it quite a few times to people. They need their private Zoom. But it was kind of funny. I think it was funny. You're entitled to your opinion, I lurker. I've seen so much shit go on. Oh, I don't know, Corey. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just watched it go down. I thought it was funny. I can't help it. I get amused at the simple things. It's not the big things that brings me amusement. It's the little things. Because that's something that really, you know, private in a stream while somebody's going through it, to me, is nothing that's going to leave a bad footprint, but there are things on here that's going to leave a bad footprint. Maybe, Ardria. Corey, you cuss me all the time because I worked for St. Jude for 11 years and I got over the whole Diane thing. You know, well, I know the ins and outs of St. Jude, and no child died because they didn't receive some money. Um, I know how it works. Again, I worked there for 11 years. I still donate to them monthly. Um, I really felt like what Mallory did risked children more when she went up in that hospital during COVID and thought she could just parade around there with no mask when there's children all over that campus. There's not just kids sitting in chemo rooms or hospital rooms. Kids are in there on, they're all over the campus, which is why it is secured. How she ever got through, I don't know. But I really felt like what Mallory did could have caused so much more damage. Yeah, I mean, I didn't work at the hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. I worked for a regional center. And because it is non for profit, I worked for what is called ALSAC. Okay. If you don't know the story behind St. Jude, it was a dream of Danny Thomas's, who was a failing actor, who made a prayer to St. Jude and said, if you, basically, if you help me, show me the way to become successful, which he did. He became a successful um, in the movies as a comedian, and he's Lebanese, and he created, he pledged to St. Jude that he would create a place for sick and dying children, and no child should die in the prime of their life. Um, there you go. So I worked for ALSAC, which is American Lebanese Syrian Associated Charities. Yeah, I don't expect anybody to forget or forgive anything. You forget or forgive whatever you want. I don't tell people to do that in my real life, you know. I have a brother that has chosen not to be a part of our family for 27 years. I still love him. I have other siblings that wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire, but I don't feel that way. Um, I feel like if he knocked on my door tomorrow and he was hungry, I would feed him. If he was cold, I would, give him a jacket. I'd give him, I don't hang on to that kind of shit, you know. I don't know if Mallory's still around. Mallory is one of those people, and I keep trying to tell people this, that, you know, Mallory is a rise and fall person. Mallory is on TikTok supporting Casey Anthony. Is that what you're saying, Carla? Hmm. Okay, let's go ahead and get that out there because I haven't spoke on that. So Casey Anthony comes back, goes on TikTok, says that she's now a crime an advocate. I don't know what she's. Who would go to Casey Anthony now? Let's keep in mind that she was found not guilty. I don't care how you feel about it, what your personal opinion are. Our legal system, our jury system found her not guilty. Well, some shit I hang on to, Artria, but now I don't know who would go to Casey Anthony for legal advice. Number one, it's illegal to give out legal advice, but she's claiming the old advocate. We've got several on here that claim to be advocates. Who goes to her? Right. OJ Simpson was found not guilty. I have my personal opinions about the whole Casey Anthony case. I don't believe she intentionally killed Kaylee. I believe she was medicating Kaylee. Wrong, very wrong to do, very wrong to do. She had people in her life that would have taken that child, and she could have run and done her thing, no problem. But I believe she over medicated that baby. I believe that baby passed away, and instead of facing the music, she did what she did with her, which is why we now have Kaylee's Law, which it's illegal to not report a missing child within a certain amount of time. But with that being said, yeah, but you say the power of a good lawyer. You got to remember, Baez was never even heard of prior to Casey Anthony. And the state of Florida holds some responsibility because they overcharged her for the evidence or lack of that they had on her. If they really wanted to see her do some prison time, not Orlando County Jail, not Orange County Jail time, but real prison time, they would have gone about it much smarter and not charged her first degree. I watched the whole entire thing. I said from jump, if something doesn't happen soon in this trial, she's going to either get off. Well, she's going to get off because they didn't leave anything else on the table. It was right, Artria, right. Because they both know that they got away with unaliving someone, and it was the judicial system that failed the people. But it worked the way it's supposed to work, whether we like it or not. Whether we agree with the outcome. I don't agree with the Delphi case. I don't believe they have the right man behind bars right now. I believe he was just outright railroaded. But the jury worked with what they had, what they were allowed to hear. And I mean, unless you got a better system, it is what it is. I walk away frustrated sometimes from jury's decisions. There was a case not too long ago that was acquitted or not guilty that just blew my mind. Which one was it? It was just a few weeks ago. Oh, let me think. Mm-mm-mm. Who was just not guilty just a few weeks ago? It just totally blew my mind. But I mean, here's my thing about the judicial system. You either have to respect it for what it is, or, you can always disagree with it. I mean, Gray thinks everybody's guilty. I mean, if you want everybody to be guilty and you want to hear about everybody being guilty, just go on over to Gray Hughes' channel. Yes, Ashley. Yes. The kid who killed his father a year or so ago and then turned around and unalived his mother and was found not guilty. That blew me away. I was like, and it wasn't for lack of evidence or anything like it. I don't know what went through those jurors' minds. Now, even though there were certain things that weren't allowed in that trial, they still were aware that he took a life just a year prior. That is someone I would never want to be around for any extended amount of time as a family member or something like that. My first words when that came out of the verdict was read was, "Grandma, hide grandma. Don't let him come back to your house." Don't, that one blew me away. But again, we either respect the process, because the picking and the choosing, to me, it gets a little old. But yes, yes, he unalived his father, claimed self-defense. No charges were brought. And then a year later, he unalives his mother, claims self-defense. No, okay, you got it the first time, buddy. But the fact that, I don't know, I don't agree with it. But then again, what can you do? The jury has spoken. If he was wrong, if he was convicted and he was wrongly convicted, then you would have something to fight for. But it's kind of hard to fight for something that, what are you going to do? You're going to go pick it around his town? Oh, grandma will be next. Yeah, 12 Angry Men. Yeah. But either way. So back to the old internet footprints. Again, somebody said it perfectly earlier. I really don't care what people think about me on the internet. I try to be a decent person. Yes, I've said some bizarre shit, mean shit, whatever. That's not what I want to be known for. What you'll never find, you'll never hear, nobody will ever. I've been here for how many years now, and you've never seen it, is a clip of me telling somebody that they should off themselves, they should die, they should, uh, horrible things should happen to their children. Um, you'll never hear that because, again, it's not that I care really what the internet thinks about me, but at some point down the road, someone that you love is going to get a hold of that. And that bothers me. That bothers me. I'll probably never have grandkids. It's just something else I'll be robbed of in my lifetime, but I'm okay. It's the way it was meant to be, I'm sure. But when I see, like, let's go over, and I don't know if you're all familiar with the local universe, which is Keemstar. Daniel Keem, he's got a channel with over 3 million subs. It's called Drama Alert, that he's kind of just tossed to the side for this. I think he still tweets under Drama Alert, but so he starts this podcast with Boogie, and there's a documentary out on Boogie. I don't know Boogie. He's got numbers behind his name, 62, I don't know, 2861 or something. But it's a very good documentary. The man that did the documentary's name is like Mike Crum or something. I don't know. I'd like to know how Pam and Rick are doing. But so, and you got to remember, Keemstar is a wealthy man. He made the most of his wealth off of a Bitcoin scam. Um, a lot of it has come from YouTube. But so I got bored over here. Wasn't nothing happening in our community. So, and I had off and on watched his locale live, which was just him, Boogie, which is just a very obese, washed up man, sad little man. Well, he's not little, sad giant man. And then you had Wings of Redemption, which was a successful gamer at one point, but then he turned into a flop. So Keemstar went. He had a boxing match that he sold money for between Bugs. Sorry, Boogie and Wings. And I mean, you're talking men that are, well, they just weighed in yesterday. Boogie's well over 350. Wings is pushing 400. You got Billy the Fridge, who's over 400. These are big boys. Well, I tell you, I did something petty, okay? Because Keemstar got this great idea to start this wonderful magical idea to start having little tentacles off of his main show, which now he calls Local Universe. And one of the shows was Queens, Local Queens. And of course, we all know about Milkers, Local Milkers, which is the show that he created for Savage, because Savage was so hated by Tina. Tina, one-legged Tina Dandridge, the one that runs around screaming constantly that she's a fucking legend, when really her only claim to fame is that she happened to be a neighbor of Angry Grandpa, which did go viral and did make internet success. Okay. So that's where Tina got her claim to fame. The one and only angry, she even uses him in her channel. I mean, and let's face it, a crotchety old man like Charles Green it's funny. But his son, kid behind the camera, Michael Green, um, basically like McJuggernuts, picked up a camera and started filming his dad being old and crotchety, and it was funny. So, whatever. So, Keemstar has went and gathered all of these fucking losers that really had nothing going for them, and he created this universe. Well, it's all scripted, because the day that he brought kid behind the camera in, Michael Green from Angry Grandpa, is the day that it went to hell in a handbasket, because it was actually enjoyable to watch when it was Keemstar, Boogie, and Wings. Just three dudes sitting there talking shit about bigger YouTubers, Mr. Beast, all of them. But then Keemstar, of course, got greedy, and this is where we're at. So I went over in that universe, and boy, oh boy. Well, Kathy, I'm glad you asked, because I got a little petty yesterday, and I did something I've never, ever done. So, knowing that the majority of this shit is scripted. Now, keep in mind, Savage getting drunk last week and dry humping the mic and moaning to another man and crying she's tired of being embarrassed. None of that was scripted. That was all, that was not part of Mike Green's script. Those are the kind of footprints that I wonder, do you want your grandbabies to see that someday? I mean, Savage is an attractive woman with her makeup. Hey, Sunnyside. She's not one of those naturally pretty women, but with her makeup, Savage is attracted. Attractive. Hey, Cosmic. But she is a grandmother. And you tune in, they're doing shots. One of the hosts is a stripper who doesn't say, she is a legit granny stripper. Her psycho mom. She has no internet footprint other than her son's channel, which when she was a drinker, her son would film her being crazy and put it on YouTube. That's her footprint. So she's a current stripper at 50 plus years old. Savage, who we all know ran around, let's see, she's claimed to be Boyd. She's claimed to be Troll Avenue. She's claimed to be OG drama community. She's run around, flapped her gums, threatening people, saying racist shit. We know Savage. But you tune in over there to this Milkers show, which, keep in mind, they get donations. And although the Milkers doesn't do that well, Keemstar last night on a scripted stream brought in over $10,000 in donations, in super chats. Now, yes, YouTube takes 30%. Yes, he's got to pay the other host. Still made a pretty good night. But I'm sorry, when I see somebody that got in the middle of an argument between me and Jenny Jen Jen and took a picture of my son and put it on her community post, somebody that was a part of our community making a total jackass out of herself by dry humping a mic while moaning to other men, begging to go to a fat camp, which is a ranch in Texas that Keemstar rented so they could do real life streaming. And you're soliciting money so that you can go, savage. Now, you want to go and you want to hang out with people that are truly obese. I'm talking 400, 350, 370, 380. These are big men. And you want to go so bad. You want to be so relevant that you're willing to do shots in a 10-year-old, 15-year-old stripper outfit you had. No, Savage isn't fat. She's packed on 10, 15 pounds since the whole keto thing, but she's not fat. She just wants to go hang out with all the fat guys. Really, she's got a little crush on Daddy Keem. Let me tell you something. That Milkers stream, I would give Keemstar a view to go watch it and look at the way Savage behaved. And all that kept going through my mind was, oh my God, all the dumb shit you've said and done on here, this totally tops it. Your grandchildren are going to see their grandma dry humping a mic, rubbing her tit, moaning over internet men, crying, having your husband has to come in and pull you off the show because you're acting like such a whore. I think Roxy is an idiot. Roxy has no online. This is not even, at least people had once heard of Boogie or Wings of Redemption or even a little bit Savage, even a little bit Tina. Roxy has no internet footprint whatsoever. And she is nothing more than a lapdog on her own show with Savage and Psycho Mom. She can't even speak. Every time she speaks, Savage screams, "Shut up, whore. Shut up, whore." Savage has threatened to slice somebody's throat, choke them. I can't wait till Savage gets to Fat Camp this weekend. Hey, Jess Fletch, I can't wait. You know, I can't wait because she's gonna get drunk and she's gonna show her fucking ass, and Keemstar is gonna make content out of it. You know why I know this? Because when she was having a breakdown the other day and her husband had to take over her stream because of her deplorable behavior, Keemstar got mad because people were talking over it and said, I want to hear what Joe has to say. Keemstar wanted to capitalize on Savage's embarrassing moment. And that, Savage, is what your granddaughter will one day see. Again, the internet is forever, and there is no amount of money that I would embarrass my family. You know, my dad used to say a couple things. He was a man of few words, but there was a few things that he would say that always stuck through with me from the time I could even understand what he was saying. And it was, you're only as good as your word. Never embarrass your family. And I can't stand a liar and a fucking thief. Yes, I heard when Savage's husband called her a cunt and took over. Yeah, I heard it all. So did everybody else, Kirby. And Keemstar wanted to make content out of it. And yet these are the people they're calling Daddy King. This is the man they're putting their reputation, whatever it is, into his hands. Keemstar has fuck you money. He doesn't care when all of this falls apart, and it will. I know Laura doesn't agree with me, but you can only saturate an audience for so long. You're going to ruin the internet for the next generation. Oh, it's only going to get, I can only hope that the next generation is smarter than the one that's currently on it, Cosmic. You know, I worked in the casino business. Everybody knows that. I made really good money. Really good money. I too had to sign an NDA, which Keemstar really pushes this NDA that he makes his people sign. Okay. I too had to sign an NDA. And the reason being is because when you work for a company like I did, like Caesars, you deal to some very famous people. You come in contact with very famous people. And in the NDA that I signed, there was no photographs. There was no, you could not ask for an autograph. You could not discuss these people outside of the casino. You know, there was somewhat of an expectation of a little bit of privacy. But never in that NDA was it said that I could be accused of falsifying SA, which is what Becky has been accused of. But we'll get to Becky here in a minute because she's one of the ones that I feel like really has some kind of low-cal talent. But she has now gone back to, she had showed up at Fat Camp last night, which Tina had already leaked the script. So everybody knew Becky was coming back. And this is where I get into what I did that was petty. So Becky goes live on her own channel the other night. It's a sizable channel, but it hasn't been utilized in 4 years or more. Now, I've always been a big Becky defender because I felt like the shit they said and did to her was illegal. I still feel that way. Right, Sergeant Blackrock. But she went live and it was put out there that she, you know, her and Keem couldn't work things out. You know, they couldn't come to an agreement on certain things. So she was going to try to make it on her own. And I decided I'd send her a little cash app to let her know that, you know, there's money, you know, there's money to be made out there. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to split it with Keemstar. Well, then when I heard the script was leaked by Tina D, that Becky was coming to Fat Camp all along, then I was watching, and lo and behold, in pops, and it was set up so ridiculous. Here comes Becky walking into. Now, here's a gated. This is a ranch that Keemstar has rented in the middle of no fuck Texas. Okay, a gated community. Like you have to have a code to get into the gate. And the only reason I know this is because it was doxed in the stream in several streams. Somebody doxed where they're at, and then Tina lets it fly that Lord Rush, which is somebody that belongs in the Discord or whatever, went and picked Becky up from the airport, which is 75 miles away because they've announced how far the. So I did a chargeback on her. I did a chargeback. She sent me my money back. And I told her, from this point on, you deserve everything you fucking get. Hey, Tawanda, miss you too. I don't know where it's at, Sergeant Blackrock. I just know it's a ranch in, well, I mean, I do know where it's at, but I don't really want to say the name. And I only know because somebody doxed it in many a chats. But I felt like I got scammed. No, I'm not emotionally invested. I didn't sit and cry about it. I'm not sitting over in comments like a bunch of other fucking loser trolls, losers who are so parasocial fucking wrapped up in it. I can't believe you let Becky back. I'm going to quit. I'm not going to watch. I'm not donating any money. Keemstar doesn't fucking care because for every 100 clowns he uses, he'll find 100 more clowns to replace you. He doesn't care. This is a man who wished cancer on his subs and their parents, their mothers. He doesn't care. So at this point, regardless of what happens to Becky, she deserves it. But what an embarrassment it must be to her family. I had to sign an NDA when going on a TLC network dating. It didn't work. Well, congratulations on going on TLC, but and I understand there's NDAs for all of these reality shows. I get it. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I'm a reality show junkie. And everybody knows I don't like the word junkie when we're referring to people of addiction, but I can use it when I'm talking about, like me. Me. Only me. I don't like when people are called junkie because of their addiction problems, but I can say it about me. I am a reality show junkie. I love that shit. I can do an edible or a one hitter and just sit and watch it and just be, like, wow. Right. Would your mom video you in public with a sign that says, I spread for bread? I don't think these people care what their families go through. I really don't. I do. I'm going to stick with my father's, uh, hey, Bolo, I'm going to stick with my father's original saying of don't do anything. Oh, the whole I spread with bread thing was all scripted too. They've let it, here's the thing. Keemstar has a bunch of people who cannot keep their mouths shut. So they end up leaking his script before it gets played out. That's the thing. He Tina Dandridge leaks everything. Savage knew when she played that clip that talked about Tina's son. Savage knew what was in that clip. Savage knows what goes over on the Asylum, Steve Billings' channel. And Tina D told them all. It's all scripted drama. Well, I can tell you right now, I don't sit and throw $20 bills at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills while I'm watching an hour episode. I did I told you all. I did, because you can only talk, you can only be in chat if you're a member, which there's a lot of gifted memberships. So you can only chat if you're a member. But you can only get your comment read if you pay $20 or more. So one day, I thought, I'm going to fuck with Keemstar. And I did a 19.99 super chat. He read my comment. He hated it. And it was worth $19.99. Then they got this fucking clown, Jaffe, David Jaffe, who became rich for creating War of Gods, a video game, a couple of video games. The man is fucking weird. Fucking weird. And I said one day, I said, why are you such a creep? Well, he took that one comment, and from what I hear, he made a half a show about me. I've had people say, oh, did you go over to Low Cal Madhouse and hear what Jaffe had to say about you? No, because he got fucking trolled if he spent one whole half a show talking about me, little old me. So, who's really the loser there, Mr. David Jaffe? You washed up fucking weirdo. He literally sat around with red shit all over his face. This was his introduction into the low cal universe. And people thought he was so talented. No, he's talented because he can create video games and become a multimillionaire because of them. But when your life has become from being a respectful businessman to sitting around with your face covered in red pig's blood, and your claim to fame is Tina Dandridge sent you her period blood and you dipped your head in it. Am I really losing? Who got over on who, Mr. Jaffe? Because you don't need money. So you just sit up there and make a total fucking fool out of yourself for free. At least some of these motherfuckers are broke. Like Boogie, Becky, Tina. At least they're fucking broke. You sit up there and make a fool out of yourself for free. That was his big entrance into the low cal universe. Yes. Was to pretend that Tina, one legged, she lost her leg due to an illness or a disease or an infection or something. I hate that for her. I hate that she lost a leg. I don't want to ever see anybody do without a limb. But considering every time Tina opens her mouth, she's whining about losing a leg, I think she's okay with it. Nasty, the woman who had a cockroach almost crawl in her mouth off of her microphone. And his entry into the low cal universe was Tina Dandridge sent him period blood and he dipped his face in it. What am I missing here? It's fascinating. I mean, everybody keeps saying, why do you watch that dumb shit? It's just a bunch of people screaming over top of each other. And I concur. But the minds of these people are fucking fascinating. that you would actually stamp the world wide web with this. And Keemstar knows it, loves it, eats it fucking up. Because it's content. And he's getting a cut of everybody's money. No matter what Savage and them, they can sit over there, show their tits, dry hump a microphone, beg, e-beg, shave their eyebrows off. What else have they done? There's this thing called punishments. And if you do something that goes against Keemstar's rules, which could be anything, you get a punishment. And the funniest part, the most fascinating part about all of it is the parasocial fucking people in the chats saying, she needs a punishment. She needs a shot collars. She needs a punishment. In what adult world are punishments acceptable? Let a fucking adult tell me they're going to punish me. Tina swings a ball bat around like she's going to dump you upside. She acts like she's this total badass. She's nothing. And Savage has always known that, which is why she went over there sniffing Tina's panties to get her a spot. Savage has basically turned Keemshow's show into her own show. She plays the Savage Live, the Purge. All the pirate flags. I mean, I can't wait till Savage gets to Fat Camp and gets a few cocktails in her and totally shows fucking out. Because no matter how embarrassing it is, Keemstar's going to want it on film and he's going to want to show it. Oh, Sarah, insane is not okay, I guess insane is a good word. But even more insane from the people doing it are the people paying to have it done. To the people who are actually in comment sections but hurt because they did this or they did that. I'm never watching again. Okay, he has a level. It's called a crown. If you become a crown on his channel, what you've done is pledged $500 a month to support one of these channels. Okay? So a bunch of his crowns were pissed off last night in his Discord saying they were going to pull their support if he allowed Becky back into the LCU, the local universe. Well, it's always been, it's a total fucking script now. And like I said, Becky got me for $10 and she sent it back to me. And I appreciate that because I told her, you scammed me. You made me feel like you were going to break out on your own and try to make your own channel successful. So go ahead and just send me back my $10 because I'd rather send it to somebody that, yeah, $500 a month. Do you know what Keemstar said when people were reading the Discord last night on the live stream? Keem, there's a lot of crowns in Discord that are really upset for you letting Becky come back. And Keemstar said, fuck you. Fuck your $500 a month. Don't threaten me with money because it only makes me want to do it more. Keem doesn't need that $500 a month. The other people do. I've watched people get shot with paintballs. Uh, fuck you. That hurts. I participated in paintball wars before when my kid was little, and I dressed appropriately, and it still stung. But you got King firing paintballs at people bare skinned. You got this one chick, Glammy Lammy. She is so untalented that she has been moved from every channel that Keemstar has created and is now on a channel called The Nerds. Trust me, it's a flop. It ain't going to make it, and Keemstar will cancel it in a fucking heartbeat. They are mentally stunted. Yes. Yes. And she is so desperate for attention on the internet. She shakes. She actually becomes fearful when Keemstar comes around her. When he was shooting the fat guys, the 400-pound men, the other day with paintballs, because she's at this camp. It's a beautiful resort, trust me. But she's at this ranch that Keemstar has rented out. And she runs out in the middle of him shooting the fat guys and says, "Shoot me, shoot me." Nobody laughed. Nobody donated. They just laughed at her. So she has now decided to get married at fat camp. Could you imagine your wedding certificate and Keemstar filed for a quickie uh, license to marry? Could you imagine telling your grandchildren your wedding photos? Could you imagine your wedding photos? All for what? Yeah, yeah. When me and your grandpa, when we got married, we had it done by some internet fucking evil genius, is all I can think to call him, because he's evil as fuck. But when you think about it, he's really a genius because he just keeps collecting everybody's coins. He is the officiator, and her groomsmen, there's no, what are they getting married in? Are they don't make suits big enough to fit Billy the Fridge. Which, by the way, I kind of like Billy the Fridge. You know, the funniest thing is he's got Wings of Redemption, okay? That was part of his original show. Now, I had to do a little background looking on Wings of Redemption to find out who he is. But at one time, he was a very big gamer, okay? But, you know, as in all YouTube situations, it fell apart because they all do. They all come crumbling down. All of them. That's why when all of these people say that, you know, they want to make YouTube their career, then, hey, D-Rod, you better bring something really good to you better be a PewDiePie or a Mr. Beast if you really want to make this your career. Because when it all crumbles around Keemstar, he doesn't care. He doesn't need the money. You all need the money. Imagine that wedding. Imagine the stink of people standing in 80-degree Texas weather that weigh 400 pounds. I just can't. I just can't. you got this chick. Her name's Xylee Gets Real. Okay. Now, other people have heard of Xylee before. I had not. So I went over and checked out her channel. And she is basically a call out channel. Okay. She calls out these big YouTubers. At one time, she called out Keemstar for his behavior on the internet. Now she works for him. I don't know. I'd say Xylee, from the looks of her, I would say she's 50-ish. I don't know. Right. But that's just it, Sarah. They don't have day jobs. They don't have day jobs. Oh, you ought to see the yeast infection underneath Boogie's tit that Becky actually kissed last night. Becky actually put her mouth on it. That's how bad she wants to be a part of all of this. Hey, Kevin. Ain't no amount of money in the fucking world. Ain't no amount of money in the fucking world where I'm going to put my mouth on a yeast infection under a 360, 70-pound man. I ain't going to put my mouth on a yeast infection at all. But on a fucking almost 400-pound, basically stranger, that's what you want to leave behind? That's the kind of, you're at some point, hopefully, you'll get married and have children. And I just can't, it just baffles my mind, y'all. I know y'all get tired of me talking about it because a lot of you all are like, Tracy, why do you even bother? I can't help it. It's an actual human freak show. It's an actual human freak show. You got this little girl who weighs about, and I'm not exaggerating, less than 100 pounds, who is marrying Boogie. And I'll give it to Desi. She hooked up with Boogie even when Boogie was broke. Oh, sorry, Cosmic. Trigger warning on the eggs. Freaks do get the views, D-Rod, and Keemstar knows this. And he has collected the biggest, fakest, back to Xylee. Her channel is Xylee Get Real. It's a decent sized channel, not the biggest, but I mean, it has, I don't know, I'm going to guess 80,000 subscribers, and so I went and I did a little research on her. This bitch acts like she's such a badass, okay? She literally acts like she's a badass. She talks horrible about Becky. And she gets called a cunt one time, has a meltdown. I'm not going to fat camp. I'm not going. I'm not going to be treated this way. Bitch, you got people at fat camp that are taking paintballs to the head. And you going to they're drinking fucking hot sauce, shaving eyebrows. And you're going to cry cuz you got called a cunt? It's kind of like the host 600-pound life on TLC, except it's YouTube and there's no doctor involved. Yes, she is the host with Billy on Rewind. I had hope for Becky too, but no more. I basically told her in my thing, I said, you know what? You deserve every fucking thing you get. But you know who doesn't deserve it? is your little Jewish mother that they've also made fun of. That's who doesn't deserve it. You know who doesn't deserve it? Is your family when they see you out in a fucking mall with a sign that says, I spread for bread, just so you can make money, a few bucks for you and Keemstar. Because Keem gets a cut of everybody's money. And I think the best thing about all of this is when it comes crashing down, and it will, Savage has got nowhere else to go. And we all know I don't like Savage. Savage isn't going to be made to do that stuff. I told Roxy, who comes and comments under my post, she comes and leaves comments under my post. I said, how does it feel to be the lapdog of Savage Live and Psycho Mom, who does nothing more than sits and flexes her tits? She doesn't even really speak. Because Savage is never going to do what you do, Roxy. She's already said it. Well, she can go back to her old friends, but her old friend, who's her old friends, Beth? She can't go back to Shannon. They've already had a fallout. Uh, Pirate, she's not on YouTube much anymore, I don't think. I couldn't tell you the last time I seen Rainbow. I mean, yeah, she's got Flava. Um, that's something to brag about. Let's see, she's got a couple AMAC talking smack. Um, she got a handful of people. I'll tell you where she won't come back to. She won't come back to this part of the internet because I will ride her ass every day. She has strolled around these streets uh calling people the worst things, threatening people, going real life on them, acting like she's some kind of badass. Well, you better drop that persona and pick up another one. Yeah, Savage and Shannon, they had a fallout. Shannon got sick. Shannon told the whole story over on Steve Billings' channel, The Asylum. Shannon got sick. Savage didn't pay any attention to her while she was sick. I don't know. Oh, Flava has no problem. Flava wants to be a part of that so bad, but Keemstar is so hesitant to bring Flava on. I'm not saying that he won't, but he's so hesitant because he's heard so much about Flava's past. You know, I think he's kind of hesitant. You know, he's had her on a couple shows. He's let her get on Savage's show a couple times to defend herself against fake allegations, claiming that Becky doxed her when Flava has her whole fucking name scrolling across her stream every day, panhandling for money. But I don't know. Keem might bring her on. I don't know. He doesn't care. So that might be a leg up for Flava, the fact that Keemstar just doesn't care. Yeah, Steve Billings, The Asylum. I mean, Shannon went over there and just spilled the beans on everything that went down between her and Savage. And They no longer have a friendship. They don't really talk about each other. They're not, going at each other. But I mean, their friendship crumbled. Whatever. It happens. It's another one that I refuse to support because she has said some of the nastiest, gross shit on this platform that I've ever heard. You will never find a clip of me saying, go K yourself, or I hope you die. I hope your children. You won't find a clip like that. Trust me, if it was out there, it would have been put out there already. Because number one, I'm not like that in my real life. What you see here on the internet, I'm truly, this is me. You can ask people like Sarah that I talk to, you know, 3 or 4 days a week in a little small Discord. This is me. I don't change for the internet. And sadly, there's people on here that probably should. I mean, in your real life, do you just, because basically we're all strangers. I mean, we're strangers. Now Savage and Shannon, they did have a friendship outside of YouTube. They went on vacation together and stuff like that. But basically, for the most part, we're all strangers. Would you walk up to us? Let's say you don't like your neighbor 2 doors down. You don't really know them, you just don't like them. Would you stand out in the middle of your street and scream that kind of thing in front of your grandchildren? If so, you have a mental deficiency and it needs checked. Right, Beth? If you would behave in your real life the way that some of you behave here on YouTube, you have issues. That's my purse. I don't know. When I was last few weeks when my insurance quit paying for this medicine that I really like this medicine. It really helps me, but when I found out I was going to have to pay almost $700 a month for it, I would not do that if I was a millionaire. Okay, I just wouldn't. I can't stand big pharma, and they're not getting $700 a month out of me for a medicine that probably cost them 7 cents to produce. But I had some people say, why don't you go live and get your channel up and going again so you can make some money, each month to to help pay for that? No, no, no. I'll find another medicine that's comparable. I'll go to my pulmonologist and say, hey, I can't afford Trelegy. Can you prescribe something that's comparable that I can afford? That's what I'll do. And I guess with losing my brother, and believe it or not, we're coming up on a year that Boog has been gone. Does it feel like a year? Because it sure doesn't, like, to me. I still spend many a mornings in this house missing him. But it will be a year on the 23rd of April that Boog passed away. And because he was 1 year older than me, to the day, by the way, you all know that, I guess it really got me thinking about life. I know. It'll be a year on the 23rd of April. Can you believe that, Sarah? But it really got me thinking about, because when you're in your 20s, you definitely don't think about the end. I mean, you have no fear. When you're in your 30s, you're hitting the best part of your life. You're finding the person of your dreams, you're having children, you're buying homes. You're not thinking about that. When you're in your 40s, you're really starting to settle in and things are, going great for the most part, not always, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just giving you a glimpse of the American dream. Of course, it doesn't always work out this way. But thank you, He Man. I know, Tawanda, 5 years since Tawanda's brother passed. But I guess it really it's made me stop and think about things that I never really slowed down to think about. I spend more time with my family. In my younger years, I was out gallivanting around the country, taking jobs in this state and that state and this state and that state and opening casinos and, you know, not my younger years really, because I didn't really leave Indiana until Chance was old enough to stand on his own. And no matter where I went, he found me. But whatever. And that's a joke. I never hid from my kid. But I wanted to a few times. But so I lived my prime. And now I'm 60. I turned 60 in January. I'm not in the best of health. I'm overweight. Uh, so you start thinking about things and you start thinking about, you know, what you left behind when your time comes. And so much on here is not what I want to leave behind. It's, and I can't believe that other people don't think about these things. And maybe it's because of where they are in their life. You know, a lot of these people are at an age when I was that age, I didn't have time for all this. I, you know, I was busy. I was working. I had a career. I was raising a kid. I was going to football games and basketball games and wrestling matches and doing homework and keeping a home and struggling to pay bills and spending time with family and spending time with the man I was in love with. And I mean, my life was full. Yeah, I know. That one hurt me, TL. Clary passing hurt me. It really did. I mean, I don't want to see anybody pass away, but Clary hurt me. But I just, it's definitely not about the things that you accumulate when you're on the earth. Because let's face it, we're all going in the same size hole. Um, or in the basically the same size jar, depending on how big you are, depending on which way you want to be done with life. It's not about what you accumulated and what all those things they become moot. The only thing left when you leave this world are people's memories and thoughts of you. And I want to leave good ones. I want to leave good ones. The only thing you leave behind is a legacy. I mean, if you're wealthy, yeah, you leave some money behind, you leave a car behind, you leave a house behind, whatever. I'm not talking about that shit because eventually that leaves too when that person leaves. But I don't want I don't want to be the person that when my days on the internet is over, that there's still videos of the horrible things I said and the horrible things I did and the total fool I made of myself, which is again why my channel has basically gone to hell in a handbasket, because short of you 100 people, which I really appreciate, trust me. Have a good weekend, deplorable. Short of you 100 people, I'm not here doing what people crave. I'm not here saying horrible shit, the wow factor of saying horrible shit. I'm not here dumping condiments on my head. I'm not here juggling titties or calling another man daddy or embarrassing my family. So that's why I think it's really, really hard to make YouTube your career. Yet you really have to, either you have to be willing to go so deep in the gutter, or you have to be way above and beyond it. Anything in between, you're not going to make it. You're just not. You're not going to make it. I couldn't think of another way to put it, Sarah. Juggling titties. Actually, I don't know if you would suck. I don't know if you would suck. And if it's something that you want to do, but all I can say is if you do want to make a channel, have a purpose. Hey, good Nunya, you have to compromise who you may have been to make a lot of money. Yeah, but I don't. Is it worth it? The good Nunya. I mean, if you have a real talent and you can focus on it, I don't care if it's fucking basket weaving. You will. They will come. Right, Cosmic. Good morning, Texas girl. But if your only talent is to sit on here like me and talk about other people on the internet, when I broke away from Laura's support, because that's where I was most well known for, was over there in Laura's. When I broke away from that, I had a plan and I didn't follow through on it. My plan was to be like a storytelling channel because I have so many stories in my life, good, bad, and ugly. Right, the good Nunya. I mean, I am constantly being told by a couple of my family members, write the book. Write the book. I feel like now it's too late to really, but my whole channel was to come on here and talk about my life experiences, and most of the stories are comical. And I'm grateful for that. I've had so many laughs in life. I really have. But I fell right into the trap of talking shit on other YouTubers. And let's face it, it's way too saturated. It's way too saturated. Coming on here and talking shit about other fucking YouTubers is a very saturated idea. I told you, that I'm really interested in true crime, and that's the truth. I am. But I never wanted to put the work into true crime that true crime requires. And I was always very honest about that. I was always very honest about that. To me, to be a good true crime channel, You have to put work into it. You have to be open minded. You have to be honest and not lead your people astray. And you cannot mix drama in the middle of it. It doesn't work. Right. Me too, TL. True crime. I like true crime, but my heart has gotten a bit softer. But the true crime channels that I watch are done professionally. They're done with grace towards the victims, and I don't know. I don't know. You all know what I'm saying. You know what true crime really is, and who says, thinks they're true crime, but they're really not true crime. And to be a real true crimer means a lot of work and a lot of dedication. And I don't want to do that. So I'll just come on here every little bit and shoot the shit with you guys. And maybe if a funny story in my life, a lot of them I don't like to tell, even though they're comical. I don't like to tell a lot of my stories because somehow or another they always get used against me. Let's not forget the old dildo under the couch. That was a funny story. Right, Sarah. Well, I actually, good Nunya. Um, actually, good Nunya. I actually bought my brother, the one that passed away last year, because he was a man of few words, a lot like my father. And I bought him a really nice recorder, like they use, like, a little recorder, like a detective would use in an investigation, or something like, a fucking recorder. You know what I'm saying? It don't take pictures, it's just a recorder. And I paid quite a bit of not quite a bit, but it's an expensive piece of equipment. Of course, he never used it because it requires you to actually push buttons. He's a lot like me when it comes to technical shit. And I still have it. It's still in the box. It's sitting right here. And so many times I've thought about picking up that recorder and just journaling. So when I am gone, my family can play that, say, but I never do it. I know. To be honest with you, I've read the instructions and I still haven't figured out even how to turn it on, much less how to stop it, start it, rewind, uh, delete. But that's because I haven't put any effort into it. I don't know. Like I said, it's, when I think about, people's always said, the internet's forever. And I never really thought about it until recently. And maybe because a lot of old streams are popping up in my recommended. I'm talking 5-year-old streams that people did, screaming at each other, calling each other worthless whores, and calling each other's kids names. And I don't know, maybe that's what got me thinking about it. I don't know. Thanks, He-Man. But I got to thinking, that stream was 5 years ago and it's popping up in my recommendations. And then when I watch it, I think, oh my God, because I'm on some of those. Right. Protect your peace. I'm on some of those streams and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. You know, I was a screaming Mimi. What was I so upset about? I mean, really, what was I so upset about? And they're still popping up, and they'll pop up 10 years from now for somebody. And that somebody could be your child or your grandchild or your Aunt Betsy, who thinks you're a whole different person than what you are on the internet. And I don't want that. I gotta be honest with you. When those streams pop up and I see that I'm on the panel, I roll through them. I'm like, not recommended. Do not recommend this to me any longer. If there's a do not recommend button, I hit it because I don't want to watch it. So I can only imagine that with the way people are behaving still, are they not embarrassed at all? Hello, Chrissy. Chrissy 77. Am I saying that right? I mean, are they not? I mean, I am. I know, Sarah, we did have a lot of fun. Probably one of the most fun streams I remember doing. Well, two of them really come to mind. And one was with me and Ninny, where I think Amelia made the Cheech and Chong thing out of. Right. Thank you. Next. That was a fun stream. That might have been when I told the dildo story that still gets used against me. But um, remember, Amelia made a Cheech and Chong video out of it. Dr. Cheech. That was a fun stream. And then when me and Wendy V and Ninny did a stream about crazy lady, what's her name? Ballet Babe. About all the troll accounts she had. Amelia did make good videos. But when me and Ninny and Wendy V did the stream about all the troll accounts that Ballet Babe had blocked, that was a fun stream. I mean, those are the kind of things I'm not embarrassed by at all. If my family ever came across them, I personally have made a point not to let my family know about my channel. Um, my sister-in-law, when I was doing the roll the dice and build a snowman stream a few years ago, her and my sister came in and under their real name, and I had to like text them and say, get out of there, you got your real name, you big dummies. But my son has asked the name of my YouTube channel. No, I'm not telling you. I mean, you wouldn't enjoy it. It's nothing. My therapist wanted to know the name of my YouTube channel. Are you kidding me? Which I no longer have this therapist. She quit, not because of me, but she just went on to a different type of therapy. She wanted to know my YouTube channel because when I would have to do Zoom calls or whatever, it would show up the truth. And of course, she's going to ask, why does it show up the truth? And I was like, oh, it's some social media thing. And we got to talking, and she's like, well, so you do YouTube? I was like, yeah, a little bit, not much. No, I make a few extra bucks here and there, and basically it's just drama. And she's like, well, is it therapeutic? And I was like, nah, not really. Not really. She's like, well, I would like to listen to it. So please don't. Please, please, please don't. All right, Puss in Boots, touch base and let me know how you're doing. I know you got a lot going on. Continued prayers for Puss in Boots. She's battling some breast cancer. Captain Obby as well. I know they're going to come out on the other side. And like I said, if there's not a bell waiting for you, let me know. I'll send you a bell. Because everybody should be able to ring the bell when they walk out of that poison control center, which is known as your oncologist's office. Yeah, it's like the whole going at people with mental health issues. I mean, we know, okay, come on, guys. I don't understand when you know for a fact. I mean, because nobody really knows what's going on with somebody. I think we could all be more uh, cautious about the way we talk about people on here because you really don't know. Oh, by the way, man, I got me some really cool cheap sunglasses the other day. I'm like digging them, but I have to get cheap ones because I either lose them, break them, jump in the lake with them. They don't float. Um, Whatever. But when you know for a fact that somebody is mentally ill, like Jasmina or Tam Tam, and I'm only using those two because they're like kind of in the circle over here. Well, I think Jasmine is over on another platform. She still blames Diane and everybody for getting her channel canceled, whatever. But you know, they have problems. To go at them, to me, is I don't like it. I don't like it because I would hate if somebody hurt themselves. And even though I don't think you could blame somebody on the internet for that, I don't want to know that I might have played a part in it. I don't know how else to put it. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not going there. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not fighting with you. You know, you say whatever you want to say about me. I don't care because I'm not participating. And maybe that's not the way to look at it. I don't know. It's the way I look at it. It's the way I choose to look at it. You know, the days of going after somebody, the same person, day after day after day, for months and years on end, I don't want to do it. I think it speaks way more about me than it does the person I'm talking about. People that fight on here year after year, it seems to cause some kind of brain rot. Yeah. I don't want to do it. You know, I see people, you know, like Queen Bee, for instance. Queen Bee has a big following. I don't follow Queen Bee. I think I got blocked maybe the first time, you know, she always has an open panel. So I went up there and I told her that I thought it was bullshit that she had a missing or deceased child's name in her title while talking drama. I I either left or got booted off the panel. I don't remember. But the things I've heard her say on here is enough to make me realize I wouldn't give her a dime for a gumball if she was starving to death, much less participate in her chat. I've left Laura's chat because of things that Laura says. Now, Laura will probably text me and say, "Why did you say that about me?" Because, Laura, you've said some pretty horrible fucking things on here. And I don't want to hear, well, look what they said about me, because I agree. They've said horrible shit about you too. I don't agree with people talking about Laura's kids. They do it all the fucking time. Kids are off limits. Kids are off limits. Not Laura's kids. They've always been up for fucking grabs. I don't agree with it. You left the community, yeah. That you were in. Nobody on here is impressive enough to me to talk about every fucking day for years. Nobody. I remember back when I thought RDA was like the worst thing on here. Oh my God, I'd never met such horrible people. But come to find out, they're not bad people at all. They don't dox. They don't talk about your children. Laura does have great kids. Come to find out, I was totally wrong. They ain't nowhere near the worst thing on here. RDA is nowhere near. I mean, I used to think that, oh my God, remember that channel that Mandy Bell always got accused of being? I don't know, that their big thing was to expose the RDA. Well, let me tell you something. Memes and shit in a Discord, ain't nothing compared to what's said and done on this motherfucker nowadays. RDA doesn't mess with you unless you mess with them first. Yeah, and even then they don't push back that hard. They don't go to doxing you and talking about your kids and shit. But hey, I fell for it. I fell for the fact that they were just the root of all fucking evil. And come to find out, no, they're not. No, they're not. I thought the same thing about RDA, but they are some of my favorite people. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I really hang out with RDA. I don't know if there is I don't know. But I really did. They were made out to just be this horrible group of people. And in reality, most of them have real jobs, unlike some of that other community over there, that A1, 1A, whatever it's called. I find QB, Granny, and others in that niche to be hey, girl, don't get me started. Granny done blocked me. Granny done blocked me. Um, I don't know if she blocked me because I made a comment over there in the local universe. Wait a minute, you're over here buying memberships while you're peddling money for a fake lawsuit? Make it make sense, Granny. Maybe she blocked me because I'd always heard she, cancer scam, but I never saw any proof of it. Then when there was proof put up, she really did. I mean, the words came right out of her mouth, full blown cancer, and she collected money for it. And I'd never seen that before. I'd always heard that rumor, but I never saw the proof. Then I saw the proof. Cosmic. See, Cosmic is just a good little troll and a really nice guy if you get to know him. But he's just a decent little troll. He doesn't when he trolls your chat, he doesn't say mean, horrible things. He doesn't come in as a dead relative or, tell you that your dead relatives hated you or Tracy's oxygen machine, which, whatever. We'll get into that someday. But, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how things go. So far, so good. Did y'all hear me hit that cigarette? I was puffing it like it was my last one. Did you hear that? I wish I could smoke joints, but they choke me, man. They choke me to death. Come on. My lungs ain't worth a shit anyways. I get it. But they're doing something to the marijuana nowadays because it didn't used to choke me like that. Right, probably someday. I know, Twanda, good for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of anybody that puts cigarettes down because it's a fucked up addiction. It really is. And I can honestly say I am addicted to cigarettes. But by the same token, I can't use a vape and I don't want to use a vape. I'll tell you what told me for sure that vaping is bad. And that's when I went to see my pulmonologist in the very beginning. And he asked about smoking. And of course, I didn't lie to him, but I didn't tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. He didn't make me put my hand on the Bible. So therefore, I didn't feel like I had to. But I made a comment like, yeah, I still smoke some. I'm thinking about going to vaping. And he looked me square in the eye. He's not a very friendly man, doctor. I mean, he might be a nice man, but his bedside manner is not cool at all. And he looked me right in the eye and he said, no, I just seen you smoke cigarettes than to vape. And I was like, really? Because, this is back when vaping was really picking up and, people had channels about vaping and stuff. I think Artria, she talked a lot. She was very knowledgeable about vaping and stuff. And he said no. So I don't know. I can't. I've tried all the vapes and I can't inhale them. They choke me to death. Everybody's like, you got to get used to them. Well, I tried for 1 week to vape and I wasn't taking these big old puffs, like these big old draws off of, you're in some places where back in the old days, I don't even know if vapes still do this, but, back when vapes were the size of a walkie talkie, um, people would take a draw off of it and they would exhale and this big cloud of freaking, I don't even want to call it smoke. I don't know what it is. Vapors. I wasn't doing that. I can't do those disposable nicotine vapes. I can't. I can't. I've tried it. And if you're going to do nicotine free vape, why do it at all? Isn't the whole point is to get the nicotine, which is the addictive part of it? I don't understand it. Right, Sergeant Blackrock. That's basically what my doctor told me. Quit smoking and don't go to vaping. But I am the vape kind of person. I know a lot of vapors. I got a lot of people in my family that vape. And let's face it, they're more acceptable in public places. You know, I mean, there are places that won't even allow you to vape in them anymore. I don't know why. I've never heard a study done on secondhand vape fumes, whatever they're called, vapors. I don't know. Now, I do like the fact that since I've moved back to Indiana and I've moved into Mike's house and he's a non smoker, I do like the fact that the house doesn't smell like smoke. Um, your clothes, well, if you smoke, your clothes smell like smoke. But like I can open my closet and it doesn't smell, my clothes hanging in there. The walls don't turn any kind of color, it's a non-smoking house. I do like that. I appreciate that. You have to hit vapes with the diaphragm and not the lungs. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know. If I breathe cosmic, my lungs are involved. You're going to have to get on camera one day in Discord and show me how to do that. I don't know. I don't know. But again, I just came on to chit chat and talk a little bit about the footprints that we leave on the internet and how embarrassing it must be for some people that have no shame, no dignity. How embarrassing it must be for people who think this is really their career when in fact it's the money is going to dry up. I think every channel that has ever gotten on here that I've watched that said this was their career is no longer making the money that they're used to making. And I believe that every community gets oversaturated. I believe Keemstar's community will get oversaturated. Yeah, there'll always be new people come in, but you're going to have a mass exodus. It's just, you know, I mean, if you're on here and you make a few bucks, good for you. I can honestly tell you that if you look at my YouTube analytics or whatever, um, I might get $100 check. I don't know. I might get one in January and then nothing in February, nothing in March, nothing in April. Then I might get one in May. And I don't even know where that comes from. I don't think people are planning. Hey, Lolo, good to see you. I don't think people are planning like that, sunny days, 401ks and stuff like that. I don't think that's important to people nowadays. And it really should be. It should be a bonus to make money on here. And I'm not wishing anybody any bad luck. I mean, if that's what you want to try to do is to make YouTube a career, but my whole thing is don't do it under false pretenses. Don't come on here and claim you got cancer and get a bunch of money and then you don't. Um don't run your mouth, get yourself in a lawsuit, expect your subs to pay for said lawsuit, and then never bother to show a receipt of where that money went. I don't know. I don't know. It's just not my thing. In the meantime, I'll just keep my little pissy old bitch moaning wine channel over here. And never, ever, ever bank on the fact that some stranger is going to give me money because it's not owed to me. Uh, Never ever bank on the fact that some platform is going to pay my bills. I can't. I can't live by the seat of my pants like that. I just can't. So I'll just stay over here on my little pissy petty bitch channel. Clip it. Clip it. I don't even make clip channels anymore. That's how irrelevant I am. And I'm okay with that. I know Ninja Orchid, crime pays, botany doesn't. And, that's sad because I don't know. I told you all the kind of videos I get wrapped up in is look what I thrifted and see how I styled it. I love shit like that. I could sit and watch those things all day. Just little shorts of this is what I thrifted. And it shows them walking through the dollar, the Goodwill or something. And they pick up some ugly piece of whatever, a knick-a-knack or something, and they turn it into this beautiful ornate piece they use in their I love shit like that. Right, D-Rod? Oh yeah. But you know what? I'm okay with being irrelevant on YouTube, because what I'm not irrelevant in is the important things, which is my family's lives and the people that I've got to know on here that really do mean something to me. So I got you watching Fat Camp. Well, like I said, remember, it's all scripted. It's like throwing $20 bills at the hillbilly Kardashians. Um, Instead of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or New Jersey, it's the fat fucks of YouTube. So it's still a reality show. We have a girl in our group. She does thrifting every day, trying to get her to make videos. I find that shit interesting, Kevin. I really do. Especially when you turn it into something really freaking cool. Well, thank you, Tawanda. You've been a very good friend to me, too. Man, that sounded like I was saying goodbye. I don't plan on dying today. Um, I don't know. I ain't here to tell anybody what to do or how to run their YouTube life. I just sit and shake my head in amazement sometimes at some of these people that this is the footprint they want to leave behind. This is what they want their grandchildren to watch. You know, this is what you want your children's school teachers to see. I don't know. No, I'm not putting YouTube down. I mean, fuck, if it wasn't for YouTube during the old COVID, we'd all lost our damn minds. Well, actually, I think we all did lose our minds. And I think that's where a lot of these parasocial relationships started, was during COVID. I mean, you have people that actually get so invested in the lives of people that they've never spoke to. They, I'm not talking about friends that have gone separate ways and shit like that. I mean, it's fascinating. We'll just put it that way, and we'll leave that on a good note. Now I'm going to eat a healthy lunch of Fritos, and then I'm going to lay out something for dinner, which I probably need to go ahead and do that, considering it's 12. Trauma bonding. There you go. Either way, I appreciate you guys coming in. Just another bullshit stream about bullshit on YouTube. Don't even have to watch the replay. It's really not that important. But I do hope that you all have a great day. I'm hoping spring comes around again here. It went from 80 to 35 in less than a 12-hour time span. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm not really crying. But I could be a good fake crier, couldn't I? But either way, you guys have a great day. And I'll see you guys around the tubes. Be safe out there. Leave a good footprint. Bye, guys.